Hello and welcome to another episode of the Confessions of a Yarn Addict podcast. My name is Anniken. I design knitting patterns. I teach knitting workshops online and in person, and I sell the yarn through our website yarnaddict.co.uk. Welcome to another week. It's been a busy week. I'm trying to work out what I've actually done since last week. I don't feel like I've done a lot, but it has been a busy week. But I'm going to share with you something I cast on and cast off in the last week. Another two projects I've cast on, I think, and one project that I have picked up after a bit of a break. Because postal charges are so expensive, some yarn sellers vacuum pack their yarn, and this actually arrived while I was out earlier, and it's arrived vacuum packed. And I've heard of yarn sellers vacuum packing their yarn, but I haven't seen it. I ordered some novelty yarns on line. Oops, I've just pulled the label off one of these. Hang on. I managed to tear the label off. I'm just going to sellotape it back on again. I'm doing a festive workshop at the Knitting Hotel in December. I'm doing two actually. And I have some different Christmas decoration or festive decoration patterns. I have some festive balls and mini mittens and mini socks. But I wanted to design something new for this year, and I decided to up it a bit with my festive yarn. So I ordered some James C. Brett Twinkle Fashion DK in a very bright green, and you can see it's got like a bit of silver. And then I got a red. I must admit I'm not a red person, but it is a very Christmassy colorway, I guess. And then I also ordered some silver, which arrived today, and it's arrived vacuum packed. It has the thing stapled to it saying it's been vacuum packed to avoid excessive postal charges and to make them more letterbox friendly. I don't know how easy it is to vacuum pack something. I might look into it. I don't know whether I sell enough yarn to make it worthwhile doing it, but I've heard other people receive vacuum packed yarn. So it's got a thing here. Actually, I think you're supposed to tear it. Obviously, you've got to be a bit careful, because if you cut too close to the yarn. So I've just torn a little bit of a hole in it, and it immediately starts expanding. So as soon as I tear open, it starts to expand. Let me just pop that in the bin, sorry. And then, there we go. So, vacuum packed yarn. Have you had vacuum packed yarn shipped to you? This is the first time. I've heard of people who do it. This is the first time I've received anything that's vacuum packed. And it does make sense, because this came in a small bag like that. It was able to fit through my letterbox. It was on the hallway when I came home earlier. So I got these three to make these patterns. Probably not patterns I'm going to release. I haven't decided yet. I'll see what I feel like when I made them. So that's one of my jobs this week, is to knit those patterns and write up the pattern and get that ready for workshop in December. I also ordered this, which I thought I actually didn't order. I thought I'd put it in my basket and then taken it out again, but it arrived, so I must have, but like a tinsel yarn. I must admit, this stuff makes my skin crawl. I ordered it. Well, I put it in my basket and I thought I'd taken it out, but clearly I hadn't. I don't think I'm going to be using this. I don't know. I just don't. I don't know. I am a yarn snob, I must admit. If you like that kind of yarn, go for it. But I do struggle with it a bit. Anyway, let's get on and talk about what I've been knitting this week. Okay, so last week, if you watched, I finished two cows, my Travella cow I'm updating the pattern, and then I'm just going to ask my tech editor to double check it before I release the new version, because the new version uses different needle size, so this tension and things have changed. So I want my tech editor to have just a quick check on it. But after that, if you remember last week, I was sharing that I'd been to London the weekend before, and I'd been to Loop and bought some yarn, some bright pink yarn. It was the Uncommon Thread BFL Light DK, which is 100% superwash blue faced Leicester, and that's what I have left. Color doesn't pick up really well on the screen because it's so bright, but this is what I made with it. So I have a cowl called the Arctic Circle cowl, which is knitted in lace thread yarn. I originally made the Arctic Circle cowl because I had a very special skein of lace thread yarn. It was Kiviot. Just got to remember, get this right. I think it's called Kiviot. I think it was Kiviot and silk. I know it wasn't 100% Kiviot. I know it had something else in there. And I got one, like, I think it was like 35 grams lace thread yarn a number of years ago. So I knitted this cowl called the Arctic Circle. But the pattern repeat was 9 stitches. I reduced it to 8 stitches, and the pattern original cowl also was wider at the bottom and then decreased some stitches in the middle. So it's different from this. I think I'm going to release this as a new pattern, but I haven't decided yet. I have actually sent it to my tech editor, but I know she's very busy at the moment, so it might take a little bit longer. I'm hoping to be able to release it in December, but we'll see. But this is how it fits on me. So it's going to come in at least 2 sizes. Did I do 2 or did I do 3 sizes? I can't remember. I might have done 3 sizes. I only wrote the pattern yesterday, but I can't remember. But it is my Arctic, it's based on my Arctic Circle pattern, but because I've changed the pattern repeat from 9 stitches to 8 stitches and changed some other details and added beads, I think I'm going to release it as a new pattern, because it's also different thickness yarn, so it's quite a lot of difference. Very difficult to show it on the camera because it is so bright, but it does have beads. Can you see the beads? Yeah, I think you can see the beads just about. But I really like it. And one thing I wanted to show you, which is why I've left these markers in place. So let me just show you. So this is where I cast on, where that green marker is. And if I may have to film this when it's lying down. I don't know how easy it's going to be to see this really. But you can see it has these diagonal lines if I hold it like that. So if we do it like that, so you can see the green marker at the bottom, that's where I cast on. And you can see these diagonal lines. But because of the way the pattern repeat works, even though the marker was at the same place the whole time, when I cast off, the end of the round, beginning of the round, end of the round was actually there. So you can see how the end of the round has kind of moved across the cowl. Can you see that? And that's just because of the way the decreases and increases work together. The decreases are on one side of the pattern repeat and the increases on the other side. And it creates this really interesting diagonal swirling pattern. Pattern is with my tech editor, and I need to get some photographs and get the tech editing done, and then I can release that pattern hopefully in December. But I know my tech editor is very busy at the moment, so we will see how it goes. So you may remember that I've also been talking about casting on for some yarn I had by Pixie Yarn. So I had 3 mini skein sets. So I had this sparkly speckled one. Then I had the same one in a solid one. The bag's kind of fallen apart. And then I had another one. So this is part of her summer. No. Hang on. Apologies for the wrestling. So these mini skein sets were part of Pixie Yarn's quarterly club. It was I have the blue, purple to green one is the spring equinox, I think. And then I have the summer solstice mini set. I got 2 of the spring one solid and one sparkly speckled. And then I also had 2 skeins, so I had this skein and this skein. Anyway, I wound the yarn the other day. I have decided I'm going to do a garment, but it's not going to be a sweater. It's going to be probably like a short sleeve cardigan, I think. I'm knitting it top down, and I've cast on for the back. I kind of feel like the back is looking a bit too wide, but it is going to be kind of like quite a dropped shoulder, loose fitting, comfortable kind of thing. So I haven't got very far. I cast on, I started knitting, and then I changed my mind and decided that I wanted it to do it in garter stitch. So I ripped that and redid it in garter stitch, and I've just noticed a little mistake here. So while I'm thinking about it, because I have one of these padlock stitch markers here, I'm going to just put that in here just to remind me where this problem is, so I can sort it out later on. But I haven't done very much. I started on Sunday, I think, and I haven't done very much. I've not kind of got 100% plan in place yet, but I know roughly what I'm doing. I don't have enough yarn, I don't think, to do a long sleeve sweater, which is what I plan to do. So I'm going to do this kind of open edge to edge, loose fitting, relaxed cardigan, probably short sleeves. I wound the 2 main skeins and all the mini skeins from the summer solstice set. I didn't use one of the skeins from the summer solstice set. I don't know why I'm struggling to say that, because I used to have a swatching, and I knitted 2 swatches, and that used most of it, and then I accidentally binned the rest of the ball because I thought it was something else, but that was the colour I got rid of. I know there is an autumn equinox, I don't know, set, which I didn't buy because the colours are very autumnal and I wasn't that keen on the colours. I've seen photos from Stitch Fest in Devon, which was last weekend, and Pixie Yarn shared some pictures on her Instagram of a wrap, I think it is, that she knitted using all her quarterly clubs. So her spring equinox, summer solstice, autumn equinox, and I guess winter solstice. I don't know whether the winter solstice was released last winter before the spring one, or whether that's coming up. I haven't seen it on her website, but I was looking at her website yesterday, but it wasn't back up again after Stitch Fest, so I may have a look later in the week and see what she's got, because I may get that. Didn't like the autumn one. This wasn't my kind of colours because it was very autumnal. So I've cast that on, but I put it on hold because yesterday I cast on something else. One of my sample knitters is knitting something for me at the moment, and she texted me yesterday to said she's struggling a bit to find enough time to knit on it just because of life circumstances. Life happens at times. So I actually had 3 skeins and I only sent her 2 because I forgot I had 3 skeins and one had fallen off the shelf or something, and I found it after I sent her 2 skeins. So I kept one and I thought I'll send it to her if she needs it. So I wound that yesterday and cast on. So it's basically a piece that has 3 pieces. So she's working on one piece, the largest piece, and I cast on for one of the smaller pieces. So I'm not going to show you the right side because it's for a magazine, so I can't really show you. I'm not going to say which magazine it is, but I'll show you the wrong side because you can't really see much. So I've knitted a little bit yesterday and this morning while I was catching up with my friend. So this is going to be the main project I'm going to focus on this week, just to make sure we try and get it done for the deadline. So that's living in my Glamour Clutch. So I do still have some of the frames for the Glamour Clutch on my website, and I have the yarn and the beads that you need for the Glamour Clutch. I have ordered some more frames and some more yarn, and I've got some felt, and once that all arrives I'm going to put together some kits. But if you've already purchased a pattern and you just want the frame, There are some frames on the website. I think there's only a few left. So if you want them, be quick, because I'm going to order more, but it may take 2 or 3 weeks for it to get here. Same with the yarn, but it's on order, so hopefully it'll be here soon. Another project which has been on hold for a while, I did talk about it a few weeks ago because I said I was going to start working on it again, and I worked on it a little bit over the last few weeks, but I worked on it quite a bit over the last week because I didn't have a lot of knitting on the needles. So that is my crochet blanket. It's quite big and I'm in the middle of a row. So let me see how I can show you. That's where I am. I always put a marker in the last stitch. So let me see if I can show you how long it is now. So it is quite big at the moment. I need to double check the length. It's going to be kind of like a black blanket, if you like. I have another crochet blanket that I use a lot when I sit in my chair watching telly in the evening and stuff, and it kind of goes from like my chest to the end of my legs when I'm sitting down. So I'm going to measure this against that and see how long it is. I don't think I got that much to go based on how it's looking when I'm sitting here. I also need to do an edging because this is the first time I've done granny stripes, and at some points I messed up the edging a little bit, so I don't know how easy it is to see it, but it kind of goes a bit like there. You can see it really badly. Yeah, it took, since then it's been better, but at one point I went a bit wrong, so I didn't bother going back. I just carried on. So I'm going to do an edging. I think it's also a little bit narrower than this other blanket I've got, so I'm going to do an edging and then make it the same width as the blanket I've got. I was using this other blanket last night and it is the perfect size for sitting in my chair knitting in the evening. It covers kind of from my chest down to my legs, and that's fine. That's what I need if I'm sitting in my chair knitting in the evening. So I'm going to try and make this the same size. So I might measure it when I go back downstairs in a minute and see how long it is. I've still got quite a lot of leftover yarn left. But I don't think I'll be using up all of it, so I may have to think of something to do after this for the rest of my leftover sock yarn. Obviously I knit socks all the time, so I do keep producing more leftover sock yarn. So put it back in the basket and put the crochet hook back in there, and hopefully I will make some more progress on that this week. I worked on it quite a bit over the weekend, and then on Sunday I cast on for this new pixie yarn design, and then yesterday I cast on for something else. So I haven't worked on it a lot the last couple of days, but I did work on it quite a bit over the weekend. Week the new issue of Knitting Magazine came out. This is my design. I did a video on this on Tuesday, so that's the last video on my YouTube channel before this video, showing off this design. It's knitted in Blackie Yarns Shetland DK. So that's what the issue looks like. That's the cover. It is issue 247 of Knitting Magazine, and the theme is forage. And my design, I think, is called Abundance. So let me find the pictures. So I did a video on Tuesday which I talk more about that design and how it's knitted, the construction method, things like that. I also show you a bit of the other stuff that's in this magazine. So that's what it looks like. That's the main picture. And then a few pages later, they have their regular feature where they show the design and different colors, and then some other accessories that might work with it. So that is what it looks like with the person with the model standing up. So that's in the shops in the UK now. And if you want to know more about this, go and watch the video from Tuesday. I will link it below this video. Okay, so I think that's it for this week. A fairly short episode this week, surprisingly, but it's been a busy week, but not busy in what I've been knitting and doing fibre-wise. I am teaching on the day that this workshop goes live, so I'll try and get a little bit of footage from my workshop if I can. I've got some more workshops coming up at Spinny Yarn in Bobby Tracy, including my Diamonds Are Forever cushion, which is in I think a couple of weeks time, and also a custom fit hat workshop. So I will link that below, and all the dates can be found on my website, which is yarnaddict.co.uk. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.